Welcome in the arena. My name is Allyson Klein. We're coming to you from OCP Summit in San Jose, California, and I am really excited because we've got Chris Butler here from Flex. He's the president of Embedded in Critical Power. And Chris, you have made a splash at OCP this year. Why don't you, first of all, introduce yourself to the audience, reintroduce yourself because you've been on the program before, but talk a little bit about what Flex is doing at OCP.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm Chris Butler. I run the Embedded in Critical Power business at Flex, and that essentially covers power that we take from the grid all the way down to the chip. And I could get into a 5 or 10 minute conversation just about that, but we've talked about that before. I think what has been really impactful here at this event today, we're really talking about a couple of things. One is literally breaking down the wall between IT and power. Gave a presentation earlier today where we literally used a hammer to knock down a wall.
This is my first guest with a weapon.
Okay,
I've got to say that.
I will tell you it's plastic. It is Halloween season, so no danger. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to talk about some of the challenges people are having, because today companies are organized where IT is separate from power. We have, whether it's hyperscalers that are procurement, the procurement organizations are separate. And it really limits the amount of collaboration that goes on. So there's a tremendous amount of benefit that customers get by kind of looking at things from a solution standpoint. So that's one. The second thing is we've kind of put a stake in the ground of how we see the future of that collaboration. And so we believe, obviously, that wall is going to either literally be torn down or grayed out because power is going to move more into the data hall, or we see customers today actually integrating power, cooling, and IT all in power pods or modules that even go outside of the building. So, and that's what we're super excited about, because our big announcement here at the show is our new integrated AI platform. So let me kind of explain that a little bit, because we do all this in modules that we deliver to a site, but now we're doing it in platforms that customers can tailor to their specific needs. So if you're building, a 100 megawatt data center or even a gigawatt data center, these are building blocks that you can use to shorten the design time, make sure that things are built and designed to work efficiently together. And, on an average build, we can cut the delivery time down by about 30%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, this is a culmination of a tremendous amount of internal innovation, acquisitions of technology into Flex. This is a multi-year strategy kind of coming and culminating. Tell me about how it all came together.
Well, it's kind of funny, because if you think about even just the sheer numbers, right? Because I always like to think about, the market growth, and people are trying to triangulate this in every which way that they can. They see CapEx numbers from hyperscalers, they look at CapEx numbers for large colos, but nobody can really figure out how much of that is chips, how much of that is infrastructure, how much of that is power. And so what we've done at the beginning is we've really looked at, through our embedded power business, the chip volumes that are coming and the power consumption of those chips, and tried to triangulate things that way. In any way we did the math, power was going to increase, the amount of power that's utilized, the power infrastructure is going to increase by about 3 times. So that started our journey, and then we started plugging things along the way. We wanted to make sure that we had every piece of hardware that customers needed, and these are things we wanted to also make sure we had the expertise behind it, everything from literally the grid to the chip. And I personally believe that we've built the strongest power portfolio in the industry. We've added on, in addition to that, a cooling portfolio with JetCool. So yeah, it's all coming together, but it has been a multi-year journey that really started with the acquisition of Nordics about 5 years ago now.
Now, this is all happening against the landscape of AI.
Yes.
And so, design points that are going through the roof in terms of power density, new challenges literally from grid to chip. When you look at that and you think about, some of the variability in power in the way that GPUs actually operate, how have you been able to kind of navigate this landscape and land this solution that you announced today?
Well, A couple of things, and I think you have to. There's a lot of benefits of a platform like this, right? But we like to look at what our customers are asking us for. So the first thing that we're always getting questions about is how do we speed our deployment times? Because look, if I don't have, we can deliver hardware, and a lot of companies can deliver hardware, but if it's not actually operating in the site, they can't make any revenue.
Right.
So that's the first kind of pillar that we have around this platform, is making sure that we can speed the deployment time, right? And just it takes about 18 months to deploy a data center from start to finish, right? And that's probably on a good day,
right?
But we're able to reduce the amount of design time by probably 3 or 4 weeks. We're able to reduce the commissioning time. That can be 6 to 8 weeks. You start building these things up, and you can almost save 5 or 6 months, right, in that design process. So a lot of effort was there on just getting the stuff there. Second thing is people are struggling with commissioning in the field. And so all of these systems are pre-configured and tested before they go to site. We will still do some site commissioning work for them, but it eliminates this, where you have multiple vendors on site trying to do site acceptance testing. So, and then obviously we have some of the deepest, IP in the hardware industry as well. So bringing all these elements together and being able to package them together has been a really big benefit for customers, because they don't have to go to multiple vendors in the process. So.
Now, one interesting thing that you said in that statement is platform. It's not necessarily a word that a lot of people associate with Flex.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a new innovative approach to you. And how have your customers responded to the fact that you're delivering a platform that you can customize rather than give me your design and I'll manufacture it?
It's interesting because we're look, most people know Flex as a leading EMS provider, contract manufacturer, but people are starting to realize that we not only have the ability to manufacture at scale, to print, that we can also take that same capability, tagging on the technical expertise that we have in both embedded and critical power, and scaling that as well. And so I think for customers, they get a little bit of the best of both worlds. They get the comfort of working with a complete design partner that can handle their needs from end to end, and delivering a solution at scale when they need it, where they need it. And that, I think, is part of the differentiation. Beyond the fact that we have one of the strongest portfolios, the fact that we can do these things at scale is something really, I think, is unparalleled in the industry.
And I actually was moderating a panel earlier today, and it was with NeoClouds, and they were talking about, well, one of the innovations that they need is actually bringing manufacturing closer to their data centers. And I thought about this interview because I wanted to talk to you about this. When you think about supply chain and you think about being able to deliver across markets, how do you think Flex stands apart?
So first of all, it's funny you bring up a NeoCloud, because we just had a modular project, so where we were delivering completely turnkey systems and pods within about 16 weeks.
Oh my God,
I don't think
fast.
anybody can do it that quick. So we are kind of unparalleled, right? I think one of the last times we talked about the fact that we had expanded our manufacturing footprint pretty significantly last year. All of that manufacturing horsepower is now coming online, and the capabilities behind it. So that's really freed up our ability to go out and help customers that are trying to expand pretty quickly. And look, you have to have the supply chain behind it.
Right.
So the other thing that I think is pretty unique about Flex is we have a really strong culture of vertical integration. So, we're vertically integrated all of our metal. I just took a customer for a tour of our site in Dallas, our new site there. We have a 100,000 square foot steel plant in the plant.
Wow.
So customer comes to us, we can really turn on a dime. We have, we don't have the paint line yet, that's coming soon, but we have the ability to actually take their designs, bring them to life in a very short order, and I'll tell you, customers are noticing. And it's interesting too, because a lot of people will go out and say, hey, we can do that for you. And we're a little cautious in the beginning, because they say, hey, have you considered this, or have you considered that? And sometimes, maybe it's something that the customer hasn't considered. what I find really validating to our strategy is even if we don't win that first order, they always come back the second time and say, you were right.
Yeah.
So, and we've won a lot of orders recently with customers that are coming back and saying, no, we really need your help. And that makes me really proud of the team that we've built because they have really deep industry expertise, and customers are really needing somebody to help them navigate all the challenges that they have.
Well, that's so exciting. I saw your announcement. I was like, we need to have you back on the show. Yeah. It's so exciting to see the fruition of a vision that you and the executive team have had for a long time. I can't wait to see the impact in market with this platform. Yes. Come back and tell us about that.
Oh, we will. I can't wait. Can't wait to come back. Hopefully it doesn't have to wait until next year's OCP.
Yeah, so. I don't think it's going to take you that long.
I hope not. But thanks so much for your time. I really appreciated the invitation.
I have one more question for you.
Oh, you do? All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't mean to.
Okay. Where do people find out more about this platform and connect with your team?
So probably the easiest way is if you're at OCP today, we have a very well-qualified team that is walking people through all the different platforms. Obviously, we have a lot of information out on flex.com about our capabilities in the data center, but you really don't get the sense of our capability without visiting one of our sites. So you're based here in the States, come to our site in Dallas, come to one of our sites on the East Coast in either Richmond or Columbia, South Carolina, Fontana, California, if you're on the West Coast. I mean, seeing it is really a great way to learn about the capabilities that we have. And, I'm leaving off all the sites that we have in Europe, but there's a long list. We'd love to invite our customers in and share with them more about the capabilities we have.
Well, you heard it here, Tech Arena listeners. It's time for the Flex road trip. We'll have a good time with that. Yeah. Well, Chris, thanks so much for taking time out of OCP. Yeah. I know you're a busy guy. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Really appreciate it. Thanks again for the invitation.